Sometimes I hate waking. Not because of my usual life obligations, like the alarm that is the goad to work, but because I haven't dreamt in years. I can't even remember a nightmare. I'd give anything to remember a nightmare. I wake sometimes with a start, the sun outside my window raining down its energy, and I'm strangely aware that I was unaware of anything for hours. I did not hear my heart beating, and I felt no movement. A thought occurs to me. Perhaps this is what it's like being dead, but endlessly so. I can't imagine it even after hours of being unconscious. We ourselves cannot perceive this with clarity. We can only imagine that life goes on after we're dead. All that we love will still be here. We have no cause to believe otherwise. A rock will still be a rock. A tree falling in the forest will still make a sound whether I'm here to hear it or not. And the ones I love will go on after I am gone, for I have gone on after my loved ones have gone. I don't ask where they are. They're not smiling down from heaven or shrieking up from hell. They're in my memories and the shared memories of others. It's all surreal, but the minutiae are mine to remember and share. Parts of my life may be shared here as clearly as I can, but even so it will get mixed up, muddled, reviewed, messed with, meddled, cajoled into something that it wasn't meant for. And when I'm gone, I'll have nothing to say about it, and I'm okay with that. You can share whatever you like, be it the best or the worst. I come to terms with such a thing by understanding it as an inevitability. I will not continue on no matter what the stories say, and I fear it no more because I understand the sun. When I was about 8, I was a fearful, skinny little boy with his heart on his sleeve. I can still remember quite clearly the first time I was told that the sun will die, and with its death, all life on Earth will end too. My elementary school science teacher was a short, squat woman with wiry gray hair that shot in every direction like she had stuck her finger in a light socket. She sat on a stool holding up a book with a picture that spread across 2 pages. A giant red sun filled most of the 2 pages, and below was the surface of the earth forever turned into molten rock. My eyes darted left and right. Had anyone else in the room just heard her say that everything was gonna die? She reassured the class that this wasn't to occur for about 5 billion years. What I thought was, either way, if humanity is still here, it's screwed. There's nothing that can be done. There must be some way to escape. I knew on some level that I was going to die someday, long before this ever occurred, but with my big imagination I had dreamt of the fiery death of every human being on the planet. The destruction of everything that we made, every word we've written, every piece of art we've adored. Why didn't anyone tell me? Were they afraid that I might have to come to terms with fact instead of fiction? I can even remember asking my parents about this, and both of them reassured me that it wasn't ever going to happen, because of Christ's eventual return. Thus, like many other times in my life, the finality of death was a pivot point that differentiated me from others. I didn't fully come to terms with it until much later. That day, I was a little man contemplating my little death, instead of worrying about bullies. Not now 3rd grade's biggest fear, I'm wondering what it would be like to be incinerated, and I float on by without even a wedgie. Who wants to think about death, especially at such a young age? I certainly didn't welcome it. The afterlife may have been a comforting thing, woven in myth and tragedy, smiling away those things we cannot know, can never know that you know that you know. But I have no reason to believe in an afterlife. Facts instead of fiction. I had been taught about the concepts of heaven and hell, and I hated both with gritted teeth, and I spat the words in prayer for almost 20 years. Who could conceive of something that never ends? Those who ground wheat with stone and worshiped the sun above all things. That's who. They made love in the trees and hated the dark. It's when they gave the sun a name that all the trouble began, as if it were a person smiling down on us. I've always found it amusing that if there ever were such a thing to be thanked, even with no anthropomorphic qualities. The sun should be that thing. Our star, if it could be called ours, is a G-type main sequence star in the inner rim of the Orion arm of the Milky Way galaxy. It's 1,392,684 kilometers in diameter. It's the source of energy for the planet and gives us so much. Yet to the little ones down here on Earth, it appears as a bright disk that can fit in the palm of your hand. Such a trifle thing should never be feared. It's beyond our control. But one day, it will kill this planet indiscriminately, as most gods do. At the end of its main sequence, it will swell to encompass the orbit of Earth. Strange. I had never had nightmares about the end as told in the book of Revelations. I did, however, have many nightmares about this particular event before I stopped dreaming. I would awaken with a start like before, but this time having remembered standing on a plain of wheat and grass. I could even smell the air, and then I'd look up at the sunrise. And like I've said before, it's like falling in love. It goes the other way too. A thing that pervades the senses as it has so many billions of people throughout the ages. It sings the song that strikes the heart of all of us. But this time, I'm blinded by that life-giving force as it swallows and incinerates me, and then into darkness I go. It was as if my mind was telling me over and over again, facts, not fiction. Fact is, I'm just a man down here on Earth, enjoying the light and the heat, drinking beers and having fun, loving life while I have it, and giving back the best I can. There are those who say your life has no meaning without an afterlife, and I ask them what meaning they had before they were born. They were a twinkle in their parents' eye, and in their grandparents' eye, and so on and so back. And then move forward, and the meaning is clear as you pass on what you've learned to the next generation, be it to your own children or to other people, and that knowledge may help us one day escape the fate of this little world we call home, and move on, ever onward into the future. My afterlife is a hopeful one, even if I won't be here to experience it. Down here on Earth, I'm just a man, waking. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment and subscribe. Share it wherever you can, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. And by the way, thank you for over 4,000 subscribers. I've been here on YouTube for less than a year, and I couldn't be more grateful to everyone that's helped me get here, and all of those whom I made friends with. In order, thank you, Wildwood Claire, The Atheist Hub, Number One Son, Logic, and everyone that mirrored the collab. I mean all of you. Logic again, because reasons. The Armored Skeptic, and a fuck ton of people I know I've forgotten. I'm sorry. But most of all, I want to thank Monkeytail 2002 and Jason with a D for so many hours of fun. Please check out their content and our weekend show A Very Public Spanking Of.